I can't believe it's 49 years now we're up to. Tina Brennen is with us. Although you haven't been doing it all this time, how many years have you been doing this now?
9 years.
9 now. I mean, we are building up, obviously, the Summerland situation. Next year, again, will be more emotive. Now, I have so much stuff that I had from the 40th. We're here doing exactly the same thing yet again. I can feel almost a frustration coming off you that things haven't moved. Do you want to start with what you want again? You know, what are you aiming for on this site?
Well, obviously, I'm aiming and always have been aiming for a memorial on this site, which should have been here from the first anniversary, to be honest with you. But for various reasons, particularly because the governments back then wanted to keep it quiet and brush it under the carpet, for obvious reasons, then there's been nothing here. There's been no means of commemorating on an annual basis put in place by any elected representative in government over 49 years on this site.
What do you exactly want though? I mean, this is always open to interpretation, isn't it? Do you want a total memorial, or do you want the site to be used again for leisure or building or flats? What?
Well, do you know, Paul, I've had so many conversations with so many MHKs over the years, and always they come back to this situation of, well, yes, I'm in favour of a memorial, but it has to be on the provision that there is a commercially viable development here on this site as well. And I have to ask them, and I'll ask them by the means of this now, where else on this island is there a memorial which has been placed only on the proviso that there's a commercially viable development there also to fund it? You know, this is a debt of 49 years, a debt of national conscience that has been owing, and it's about time that it was paid. And if any elected representative could have the courage to stand up and do it, then there'd be thousands of people on this island who would be grateful, because we are sick of looking at this site. And I know thousands of people are sick of looking at it. So we want something done. We're sick of talk, we're sick of rhetoric, we're sick of empty promises. We want action.
I think the wave was the only thing I remember that they were talking about doing something with this site. I mean, clearly there's issues galore, but hence we've still got this aquadrome parts that literally, every time I film it every year, it's exactly the same, isn't it? It hasn't been taken in down by the elements, hasn't overgrown by weeds or anything. What do you think to this? I mean, do you think it should be part of the memorial, or would you be happy to see that completely erased now?
Well, in a way, it is a testimony to what happened, although it wasn't any real part of the Summerland building itself. Yeah. But when you look at it, it does focus your mind on what happened on this site. So in a way, it is a testament to it. If it remains, that's fine, but I mean, I've got a costed plan for a memorial, a substantial memorial, and an information centre, an education centre on this site. Now, the government has recently just paid out over £200,000 for a UK company to come along and scrape the rust off the horse tram tracks. That money could have covered a decent memorial on this site, but the priorities are never there, are they? That these issues aren't addressed, and they're just issues of basic human rights, Paul, because you've got things like shelter, warmth, food, a fit-for-purpose National Health Service, welfare for the elderly, even our infrastructure. All of these things need to be addressed. And for me, this site is just a yardstick of the ineptitude of governments who cannot address the basics of what we need.
But for those that remember the history, I mean, Summerland original burnt down, and Summerland 2 popped up, and without hardly a murmur, I don't think, from hardly anybody at the time.
There were people that objected.
It didn't have anything like it would have today, though, would it?
We didn't get a chance. We didn't get a say in it.
I mean, if Summerland 2 was still fit for purpose, it might still be here, of course. I mean, that would be that.
Well, it had to close due to instability of the structure. There was rock falls behind it, and also there was no patronage. People stopped going because the NSC was built, and now I hear so many times on social media, and it frustrates me because people say, we want another Summerland. Well, why didn't you support even the second Summerland when it was here? You had the chance and you missed it, and now it's too late. There is no viable enterprise in another Summerland. We don't have the tourists for it.
Okay, to finish with, next year, anything particular? I mean, we're still going through this whole process next year. The thoughts are going to be trained upon this, aren't they? 50 years. 50 people, 50 years.
Yeah, the clock is ticking. You're absolutely right. And I've been in touch with the Chief Minister, and he says he will come along to this site on the 50th anniversary, which would be good. It will be good to see it. I did ask Howard Quayle, but he didn't even send me a reply, as you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would be good to see him here and to address this issue. And believe me, whatever is or isn't on this site on the 50th anniversary, that's what the media here and in the UK will be focused on. So they need to get their acts together. And I'm talking particularly the Manx Development Corporation here, who have been given this site, although it was initially for sale for $5 million. Now they've been given this site to develop.
They've still got a big sign there, haven't they, saying prime development, I think.
Yeah, and it's a joke. It's a complete joke. This isn't a prime development site at all. You've got so many issues. You've got rising sea levels. You've got the road shut off at certain times of the year because you cannot get up this road. I mean, who's going to want to live here with the cliffs behind, the atrocious smell at times, which I hate to be basic, but it is atrocious at times.
And they've got a reach agreement with people up there because it's been an ongoing battle, hasn't it?
Absolutely, and it was for the first Summerland.
And the second Summerland, I remember the sound levels who went above hardly anything.
Yeah.
Up there, their teacups were jumping up and down and all sorts of things.
Well, it's interesting because the first Summerland was actually going to be built even higher.
Oh.
But, of course, the people objected there because it's the bottom of their gardens.
Yes.
They didn't want anything like that, quite right as well. So there was 7 levels in Summerland, and that was certainly many levels too many, as we know, because it cost the lives of 50 people. The whole concept, design, build, operation of Summerland was defective. We know that from the inquiry report, but we also know that nobody was accountable for it. Not then, and there's certainly no chance of it happening now. But they should address this situation and put the memorial here on this site where it should be. For the sake of all those people who were killed, all of those who were injured physically and suffered psychological trauma, they still write to me now and say, I've only just addressed these issues now and I need psychological help to get over it. People don't understand the amount of hurt that's been done because of this site, and all that's left to us is to put a memorial here to show just how much it means to us, and so many people remember it and they'll never forget it.